September 7th, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell anymore. With this little girl. Always on my mind. Peach. Peach. Peachy girl. Hi, Amy Lulu. Little Peach. She had a good morning. Hi, Michelle. She had a good morning. She sat in my lap, talked to me, and then when I went to change the birds out because it was hot, we had to each group got an hour out, and the ones who stay for the whole thing got 2, which is really low, but they'll get other stuff today. She got down and played, and she was playing pretty hard. And she came back in, and she hasn't eaten anything. She's just slept. So Michelle said, "Hello, Peaches. I love you, baby." Yeah, I make her food before everybody else's. Which is easy to do to make one. So hi, Kaisei. I made her food and put it in there, and she just sat next to it, turned her head to the side, and went to sleep. So she hasn't touched anything. Have you, baby? She's had a couple of good days. I did a video yesterday of her helping me make toys. Taking the insulator off the pair of pliers was the most fun she had. Uploading it, though, is going to take a while. I have to do that off my phone. I've already put in a background and all that stuff. It's ready to go, but I don't know how long it's going to take to get up there. Normally, I transfer everything over to a computer and then upload it, so I have to upload from the phone, which means I have to put my phone in silent mode and let it go for a couple hours. So, hey, Falcon Sue. So her weight this morning was 515. So we're down from her recent high of 540. I was hoping she'd come right in and eat, but she didn't do that. The only reason her eyes are even open is she knew, hi, Spirit Matter, is she knew because I was moving things in here that we were going to have a meeting, so she woke up for this. Didn't you, baby? Didn't you? Hmm? And Babaloo, he's just kind of watching. He got his head cocked to the side. He does that when he knows something weird's going on. So he's cocking his head to the side. So, hi, Doris. Hi, Aaron. Cecil's been weird for a couple of days. He's been getting right in face outside and just not moving away. So, how you doing, Cecil? Yeah, he's got that distant look on his face. And Cause, she's been less argumentative with the other birds. She hasn't bothered. She hasn't bothered Lorelei, which is usually one of the things I have to stop her from doing. They're all a little bit out of sorts, but this one right here has been a little aggressive with the other birds, so I had to put him in last. I'm not seeing the live stream on here. I actually have the iPad set up in here today, but I'm not seeing it. For some reason, it's not showing. That's typical. And then Sugarbird in her usual position, looking outside. Yeah, I see. Yeah, you know I'm talking about the Sugarbird. Yeah, flash your tail. You got the best tail flasher around there, kid. And there's Lucy. Hi, Luce. She was hanging out next to Dad, trying to make him feel better. And then there's Pippa, Pip, 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 who's added something else to her vocabulary. She now coughs like a human being. And Romeo, he was out with us. He's being out with us almost every day now. He's actually coming over to me, which is funny. He comes over to me, and the reason he does that is because I protect him from other birds hassling him a little bit. Right, Peach? Hello, baby. Well, we got about a third of a song out of her last night. She was hanging on the side of the cage, and I asked her to sing, and she got about a third of a song out. But yesterday she was eating all day, and now she's just not showing any interest in food. How are you, baby? Oh, there, finally. I had to go back into it. That's typical. Now I can see what people are saying. Yeah, she's hanging in here, but she's not eating today, so I don't know, Spirit Matter. She's had a few days where she didn't eat, and then she started eating again. Yesterday, she almost ate nonstop. She got up to 540 grams, which is really low for her, but I mean, it's better than 506. But now she won't eat. Will you, baby? I hope to get that video up today. It'll go up for the patrons first, because that's where I load it. I load it on Vimeo. And once I'm done loading it on there, then I use Vimeo to copy it over to YouTube. So there's about a day lag between, and then the members will get that first. Yes, they can eat cucumber. Michelle, they can eat cucumber. And then after it's been there for a few days just for members, it'll go on to the general public so they can see it. Right, Peaches. Right, Peaches. Hey, baby. Yeah, she was sleeping, but she saw me put this chair in here and the camera set up, and she's like, I'm in here. Yes, cucumber is safe for parrots. Mainly you want to stay away from the onion family, you want to stay away from asparagus, rutabaga, avocado. There are some foods they're sensitive to, but, even avocado is questionable. Hi, Susie Q. Some people will, or some birds will react to it. By react to it, I mean they will die. Yeah, she's got blueberries for that. It'll take me a day to get her any cucumber, that's for sure. Well, I could have Instacart bring some. I could. She's been drinking quite a bit of water, though. Snowball, what are you doing over there? Are you preening? Preen. Yeah, they're all paying attention to her. She's got their attention all a good 80% of the time they're watching Peach, so they can tell she's sick. So hello, baby. Their weights and their poop all look good, so they're doing okay. Bob has problem with feather destructive that started. Is I've got that under control. This one up here, I'm going to actually have to do a dilution of Haldol because he's way too sensitive to it. I can't even give him 0.01 without him reacting to it. So I'm going to dilute it 1 to 4 and in just pure water, and not tap water, of course, pure water, and give him tiny doses and build him up, because he started attacking the second primary. He was going after the first primary, but now he's going after the second one on both sides. So I got to get that stopped. Everybody else is doing pretty well. Romeo's getting out and being with the flock, which is good for him. Right, Rome? Right? And he's coming to me for protection, which is, it's not his want to do that, because I'm the one who's given him medicine in the past. He doesn't mind the peanut butter, but the time I gave him alprazolam, I don't think he'll ever forgive me for that. That stuff is nasty tasting. So. Someone who doesn't usually destroy his toys that quickly has just about got that one destroyed. We have fresh new ones. So how is Cecil doing? He's still got wood on his toys. He's pulled everything else off that one. And he's destroyed some of the wood off that one from yesterday. And there's pieces of wood all over the bottom of his cage. But you can see there's a couple of feathers down there too. So, I've got to get him on Haldol, but he just reacts really strongly to it. So the trick there is just to dilute it and give it to him in tiny doses until he can build up a tolerance. So, oh, Michelle, it's tough. I'm holding up because I have to, but I'm a little testy, not with the birds, with myself, of course. And I'll survive, I guess. What do you think, Mander? And I appreciate it, Michelle. I appreciate having the support. Yeah. She was having, whenever I put up the table and start laying out the toy stuff, she runs right up to the cage door and hangs on it. Like, let me help. She's been helping with toys. If you look at some of the old videos, you'll see her helping. I think the toy production video, which is an old one, you can see her there helping with the toys. Yeah. Right, Peach? Yeah, it's just good to know that people are there, care about the beach. Hey, Peaches. Aw, kisses. You giving me kisses? Aw, thank you, Peach. Thank you, baby. She's been giving me a lot of kisses lately, this one. So, an anonymous donor is giving Chloe Sanctuary a computer, so we'll have a computer to work with soon, by the end of the month, so. It's not going to be like that big old one, but, it's going to do the job, so that's what we need. Yeah, she doesn't like to see me upset. I try not to be upset around her. Hey, baby. Aw, thank you, baby, for the kiss. Yeah, she really doesn't like it when I'm upset. She just gets, and I don't want to upset her, so yeah. It is hard. And when you see, you see her just eating yesterday, she was just eating like crazy. She only fell sleep a couple of times during the day. Peaches tried yesterday. She did about 3 beeps and then stopped. She tried. Didn't you, Peach? Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Bit much to ask, isn't it, girl? It's a bit much to ask. Yeah, baby. Or you can tell she wants to, she tries. She'll get in position to do it. She'll even put her wings out, but then she won't make a sound. At least she's talking again, so. Yeah, I know. I know what's going on with Victoria, Cockatoo. It's tough. These guys get under your skin. Don't you, Peach? Don't you, Peachy? Hmm? And considering her health, it's really not the kind of thing you shouldn't expect, but she's never been in great health. With her neck the way it is, she doesn't get enough exercise. Right, Peach? Not enough exercise? I mean, to do a display, in order to feel comfortable about it, she has to hang on the side of a cage. Yeah, oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. You just like to kiss me, don't you? You just have to kiss me. Let me know you love me. Yep. I wish I had more angles on the video of her making toys with me, but kind of hard to do in here. And I don't have a computer to put the other, I can't do 2 cameras or 3 because I don't have a computer, so. Yet. One should be here by the end of the month, so. Yeah, I've been talking to April about it, but neither one of us are in the best mood to talk right now. It's mostly through text because we're both too emotional. She certainly is a fighter. It's amazing how she's fought it so far. But on days like this where she doesn't eat, it's you don't know whether she's just gathering strength to go and start eating, or she'll start eating later today. I don't know. Don't know what she'll do. There's Mr. Concerned Snowball. You can see the concern on his face. He's just sitting there looking at her. Same way with Bob. Cecil, too. Commander happens to be eating a edamame that fell in his. That's not a food bowl, that's a toy. But he drops food down there and he goes down there to eat it later. Don't you, Mander? There's a bird that loves that edamame. You'll eat it all day long, won't you, kid? He's a sweet boy. He's actually started to get out of a funk. When he got here, when we moved, he had some problems with the fact that we were moving. And his cage is about the same size because he doesn't like a large cage because he's got problems with moving, right? Because of his pelvis. Hello, Peaches. He's got problems moving because of his pelvis, so. But now he's actually doing his jungle sounds again. He has great sounds that he makes. Sounds like it's like a Johnny Weissmuller Tarzan movie, you know. Although in that movie, in those Tarzan movies, you can hear the kookaburras in the background, and kookaburras don't exist in Africa, so they're Australian. So, but back when they made those movies, people didn't know much about any of that. So. Actually, it may be just as bad today. Loose girl. Peaches. You gonna eat for me? Eat for you later today, huh? There's food over there. You got fresh blueberries. She's got fresh blueberries. She has snap peas. She has edamame, mash, my special birdie bread, which she loves. Don't forget to smash the like button. It's helpful. So do I, Aaron. I hope that, like you say, that more and more people are learning, but the problem is that, especially where I live in the United States, the educational system is so bad that people don't know anything. You know, they can barely read. I'm not kidding. The average person has reading skills of a fourth grader from the 50s. So, and our high schools are just a travesty. I remember when I went to high school, and it was not a pleasant place to be. And because I was a quiet child, they just let me sit back there, and I passed all the tests, so they never talked to me. So, but you know, people aren't taught in the scientific method here. They're not taught to think scientifically. Syringe feeding. I will offer her syringe food if she takes it. Fine. I'm not going to force it into her. I don't think that's the way to go. She has to choose to eat. She did eat from a syringe for a day or two, a day and a half. Then she chose no. She'd rather eat from her bowl. So, well, they don't teach critical thinking skills. You can't blame the people if they don't teach these skills, right? I took when I took logic and philosophy in college just to have a background on critical reasoning. Most of the people in the class they were having a hard time with it because it didn't make any sense to them. You know, the difference between deduction and induction. You know, how to tell if something's true or something's probably true. No clue. And that's a fault of the educational system, you know. So, and if people think it's too difficult to teach that, then how did the Greeks do it? Because that's where it comes from. You know, the ancient Greeks were the ones who came up with the foundations of logic. So, to say that it's too complicated to teach is kind of silly. It isn't too complicated. They just don't want us to be able to think. So we need more people studying these guys to protect them in the wild and to help the ones that are here. But we lost Dr. Metz. He died. Now we still have the Indonesian Parrot Project. They're still trying to help them in the wild. And there's other groups around the world trying to help parrots, the World Parrot Trust, people like that, groups like that. But general understanding, that's important for people to understand, and they just don't. The majority of people I talk to have limited knowledge, if any, about parrots. Even the ones who have them in their homes often don't know anything, really. They may be able to deal with the one they have, but they don't understand even how they breathe, so. Animals. There aren't that many wild parrots coming in. There are a few smuggled in, but for the most part, they're bred here. And recently I was trying, because we're a nonprofit, I can't go out and say, I'm against this law, vote against it, right? I can't do that. But there was a law they were proposing, and what the law would do is make it easy, keep it easy to transport birds, right? And I was telling the people who were trying to push this down my throat, and they were going out and telling everyone to talk to their the politicians and tell them not to pass this law. The real reason that there was this uproar about it is because the American Federation of Aviculturists, may they rot in you-know-where, were pushing for the law not to go into effect, because if it did, oh, poor baby, she has trouble going to the bathroom, so if it did go into effect, they wouldn't be able to put these birds in planes and transport them from one state to another. What they were telling people who own birds is that this was going to limit what you could do. You wouldn't be able to take your bird into another state. And that wasn't the point of the law, okay? The point of the law was to stop this trafficking of, sorry with the camera position here. I'm trying to clean her up. You'll get a bath after this, baby. I'm not going to let you be dirty, okay? You haven't had your bath yet. Not too good, Peaches. A lot of blood in that one. But they simply believe what they're told. You know, if you think about it, you do not want these birds to be easily transported from one state to another, because that makes it easy for the breeders to sell them. So, yeah, not just the destruction of the environment, that's happening, but to get the babies in the wild, they're not selling them much over here anymore, but in the U.S., but they're selling them around the world. They chop the trees down to get the babies. That's why some of those babies get feather destructive behavior, even though they weren't hand raised. Because they were taken from the wild before they were even fledged. And then, of course, since they only nest in hollows, when the hollows are gone, there won't be any more nesting. So the ones that understand that are the Indonesian Parrot Project, and there are other groups that understand that as well. But we're losing a lot of environment too, because of, like, they lost 1 billion animals in the fires in Australia a few years ago, 2 years ago, I think. I'm not one of those people who has any sense of time, because I don't have a memory of it. But I know it was recent in my memory. And we have fire tornadoes here. How's that for fun? 11 miles from where I was, where the sanctuary was before, there was a fire tornado. Yeah. So how much longer can this go on? These guys can't take intense heat either. So as it gets hotter, these guys will die out in the wild, because it's going to get hot too fast. They won't have time to adapt. Their lungs are, it take a long time to adapt to that situation. So, yep. And we end up in situations where they have excuses why, oh, we can't do that now. We have to keep using coal, and we can't do this now. We have to keep digging for oil. They will come up with whatever excuse they can to keep making their money. That's what it's all about. Until everything on the planet is gone, right, Peach? Well, if I wanted to get a that's right, I probably have to ask Pippa. Is that right, Pippa? Yeah, people might actually get a real eye opener. They may not be around anymore. May not be any more people. Yeah, that's true, animals. The root of all evil is money. And the funny thing is, money doesn't exist. There is no such thing. It's a fabrication of the human mind. It's just paper or it's just digits. There really isn't anything like that. So we made it up, and then it's like we made our own God. Didn't we? Didn't we, Peach? Our own God, which is fabricated. Peaches, are you in there, Peach? I see my Peach. I see her. She's not feeling too good today. Hey, Bob. Oh, you looked up at me now. You were looking at her. When I pointed the camera at him, just as I brought the camera up, he was looking at Peaches. There he goes, back at Peaches again. Hey, Snowball. Snowball still missed, and I can't be absolutely sure of this, but he still has some of those same behaviors that he developed after Chloe went. After Chloe was gone, he started sitting and looking wistful like this. He'd never done that before. He was always bouncing around all the time, but he'll sit like this, and I think he's doing it just because of what's happening with Peaches. But Michelle, I'm with you there. Bessie, how can you live without money? Well, humanity live without money for most of its existence? And money doesn't exist. It's just a concept in the mind of humans. It doesn't exist. So you can live without it. People can do things because they need to be done. If you ever watch Star Trek, especially The Next Generation, I don't watch TV much, but there's no money. And there's one episode where they were talking about how they got rid of money and people just do things because they need to be done. Hunter-gatherers don't have money. So, yeah. The first thing to do, is to if you're talking about getting rid of money, is to read a little bit on the possibility of. I'm trying to think of how the best way to put this. Of people doing things because they're to the benefit of the environment and to other people. So, and if you read a little bit, Abazia, if you read a little bit about Gene Roddenberry and what his views are, you would see why he took money out of Star Trek. Because he didn't believe in it either. He thought that it was a bad thing because it allows a lot of wealth to end up in a few hands. So. And I think that people can do things. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. Well, it does work in some places. There are places that use it. And certainly in Kenya, before they started harassing the pygmies, they lived without money and did just fine. And if you think, well, those pygmies only live for 40 years, that's true. Pygmies, the average lifespan of a hunter-gatherer is about 40 years. But in that 40 years, and I was taking, this is from my studies of anthropology, In that 40 years, they get about 370,000 hours of leisure time. And in 72 years, the average Westerner gets only 70,000 hours of leisure time. So what did we gain by creating these giant societies? Nothing, I don't think. We gained the worship of money, which does us nothing, does nothing for us. So, and if we weren't all focused on, didn't have these billionaires that own most of the wealth in the world, we could be focusing on things like helping these parrots survive in the wild and finding solutions to things like health problems. We're not doing that. So we're not doing it because, well, humans aren't necessarily greedy, okay? And the reason I say that is because in the wild, when you look at small groups of hunter-gatherers, you can see there's a lot of it, like the pygmies. If you read The Forest People by Colin Turnbull, there wasn't any greed among them. That greed didn't exist, which indicates that it's not necessarily a human trait if you can find humans without it. And we're talking about whole groups of these, like bands of roughly 40 people that have no greed whatsoever. So I think greed is part of the system. It's the system that's the problem. Okay? So if we can change the system, we can probably bring humanity to a better lifestyle. So that's right. I agree, Aaron. Yeah, the system makes us greedy. I think that it's not necessarily the greed of humans, but if you put them in a situation where greed works, then they're going to have it. Now, here's an example. I'm doing what I'm doing because I care about the birds. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be doing this. To me, money has no intrinsic value. And if you think it does have intrinsic value, I can prove that's not true. Go out to the USTreasury.gov and look up Federal Reserve note. They will tell you it is not worth anything and it's not backed by anything. And that's the federal U.S. government saying, it's not worth anything. Yep. That's right. I agree, Aaron. But, so people would do things because they wanted to, because they would choose to do that because that's what their heart leads them to do instead of being pulled by greed. So I think Bob might join the rant today. He's definitely thinking about it. Yeah, when I see something like her suffering, and I realize that the main reason that these birds have to suffer in captivity is ignorance because of the terrible educational system. Greed is the reason they're here. Okay. Yeah, I can rant a bit. Right, Cecil? Yeah, this is their sleepy time, noon. Right, Bob? Hi, Bob. Babaloo? Babaloo? How to preen those back feathers, huh? Well, animals, where you say if someone was broke most of his life but came into money, he would want more and more and more. I have never been one to hold on to money, for any, how would you put it? I've never worshipped money. So if I came into $1 billion, I would have a little tiny bit for myself, and the rest would be for helping birds and people who need to learn about birds and that kind of thing, making the world better. As far as living in a palace, like some of these big, like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or one of those people, not interested, don't want to, not so they can take their high lifestyles and stick them where the sun doesn't shine. You can quote me on that. Hello? Oh, you said hello, Peters. You want the camera focused on you, do you? Yeah, hello, baby. Yep. It's true, he does. He picked up his whole mannerisms when he starts a rant right after me. It's funny. Yeah, when I started the sanctuary, I had a computer business. Okay, I was going out and repairing Windows systems, which is a lucrative business. And if you want to go poor, then you want to go out and repair Apple systems. Not because Apple, there are fewer of them, but because they don't need you. So, because they generally run without problems. So, I could have, I was only doing 2 jobs a day. I could have done easily 6 jobs a day. And it's at $125 an hour as a computer tech, figure it out. It wouldn't have taken me very long. I could have worked for 10 years and made a ton of money. But instead, I was doing 2 jobs, a day, or 1 job a day if it got to be a long one, because I needed to come back and take care of these guys. So, greed does not have to be the focus of our lives. And the greedy are never happy. They think they are, but they're not. They just need more, more, and more, and they've been taught to think like that. So I really recommend reading that book, "The Forest People" by Colin Turnbull. And then if you want to, there's another book by him. He went back and he was trying to get a grant to study the pygmies more, but he couldn't. So he got a grant to study this group of people. I forget what the name they told him the group was, but it wasn't. It was a native group that had their lands taken away from them. They were hunter-gatherers. They traveled around, right? Well, they were told they couldn't do that anymore, and they were going to become agriculturalists. So they tried to teach them how to grow things. And that's the mountain people. If you read those 2 books, you'll see the worst and best in humanity. And at the end of the mountain people, about the people who were separated from their culture, Colin compares it to the Western world. So, and it was funny, my anthropology teacher came by and he saw that book, The Mountain People, on my desk, and he looked at me and he said, "You're reading that?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Horrible, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah." What wood I use? I use white wood from Home Depot if I make it myself. Right now, I'm getting it from birdtoyparts.com because I don't have a place to cut wood here. I can't take a circular saw and cut it up, so. They use white wood as well. It's usually birch, but, and they color it and drill it for me. But white wood is wood that has been the least treated. Now, untreated wood you wouldn't want because it'll have mold in it. It'll have all kinds of other stuff. So it has to be at least minimally treated. But white wood at Home Depot is what I used. Anymore, I just place an order for the wood parts, and then they send me all kinds of fun stuff. I get long blocks. I get ones that have ridges in it. I don't know if it's ones like that one right there would have ridges in it. And then I get There's little smaller blocks that I stack up, and then I have some that are triangular. And I don't think I can see any of those right now. But they have a wide variety. They only sell to wholesalers and sanctuaries, though. And you have minimum orders. So you can't order one of something. You'll be ordering 30 or 40 or 60 or something, depending. Animals. You asked if I got some cages by donation. I'm glad I have my iPad because I can look back. Yeah, some of this cage was by donation right here. Actually, most of the cages in here were by donation. The big cages that I had them in are all in storage, broken down and in storage. I don't think. There isn't a cage in this. Yeah, this is the only one that was purchased right here. And that's a California cage. It was purchased for Chloe back in 2007. And Cecil's in it because he breaks tack welds. So, but we did have some pretty large cages, but they're all in storage. So. What are you doing back there, Snowball? Are you sleeping? Somewhat. Babaloo? He won't even talk. He just looks away from me. How you doing, Peachy girl? Oh, thank you, Michelle. You might want to wait till next week because right now it's really hot here. So give it a week before you send something. Next week is supposed to be in the 80s. Right now we're in the hundreds. So actually, I guess that's okay because by the time it went out, it's supposed to drop to 100 tomorrow Fahrenheit, and then drop down into the 90s. Next week we're looking at the high 80s. So. We're in the 40s now in Celsius, and we should drop to the 30s by next week. So, if you're in the UK, don't worry. It'll get here about when it cools down. Yeah, it's been hot, and what's funny is that we have two things that happen here on the Pacific coast. We have El Nino and La Nina. So it's the boy and the girl, right? The girl is cool, literally, because what happens is the trade winds blow against the ocean and cool off the surface, and then the cooler air comes in the coast. That's what we have this year, and we're busting 110. El Nino is the other way around. What happens is there's no wind that cools it, and hello, baby. There's no wind to cool it, and the hot water is on the surface, so it makes it hotter. So we're only experiencing this really intense drought heat in the cooler part of the season, as it were. When we get El Nino, we'll find out what real heat's all about. And they have been threatening turning off the power. They sent out one of those big alerts statewide to shut down your power, which, I really can't do much of that. We can turn off a few lights here and there, but that doesn't really help much. Yep, Cecil's playing at least. Oh, he likes those little... Your birds are dinos. They're theropod dinosaurs. They're actually dinosaurs. So it's a good thing to call them dinosaurs, because they are. First time I heard birds were dinosaurs was years ago when I was reading something by Richard Dawkins about, I think it was in The Selfish Gene, actually. He talked about that. But later on, it's in everything. When you're reading anything that's scientific about, bye animals, thanks for stopping by. You have a good day too. What do you say, Peach? You have anything to say about that? You have anything to say about that, baby? No, you said something. You talked a little bit. I know you like to be on the screen. Yes, I know that about you. Yeah, that probably did have something to do with it, actually. They had to develop the ability to take in more oxygen, and they certainly can. Bosnia says, bye, Peach. Bye, Peach. Peachy girl. I expected her to be a little more excited, but at least she wanted to be on my lap. No, we're not in the valley. See you soon, Bosnia. We're not in the valley. We're not the high desert. We're sort of medium desert. They don't call it a desert here, but it is. Yeah. It sounds like an interesting book, Out of Thin Air by Peter Ward. I'll have to look into it. Got to get a new library card now that I moved. I get audiobooks from the library for free. Nature podcast, listen to nature podcasts and that kind of thing too, but yeah, you have to love birds. And if that one shrew-like little thing didn't survive the big extinction, we wouldn't be here. So, I'll have to remember to read that. When I say remember, my memory is not quite so good the last week or so. I'm so focused on peaches, I forget things about other things that are going on. I don't forget the birds, but little things like there's a meeting today. God. Peaches, you got to eat. When I put you up, you have to eat, okay? Yeah, it would have been better if they had. Thanks, Aaron. I'm going to need a reminder. Normally I would just talk to my phone and tell it, but obviously I'm not doing that right now. That's the kind of stuff I like to read. Right, Peach? Or I listen to books that I've heard before in English, and I listen to them in German now, because I'm trying to learn German. I've been listening to Daniel Suarez's Kill Decision in German, and I think this is the second time I've gone through it, listening to it, and this time I'm getting, I'd say, a good 50%, which is pretty good. I know exactly where I am. I don't have to think, where was I before? I just start listening and I pop right into stories. So, yeah, Aaron, my mentor in college, taught me to think of ways to do things like this. I also, I play one game on my phone. Okay, I do play a game. It's called Lingo Legend, and it helps you with learning a language. Yes, yes, Amy is helping me. I've been listening to Kill. My extent of working with German in the last 2 days has been listening to Kill Decision while I'm doing dishes and stuff like that, because I just don't have time to sit down. I'm so focused on this little peach. Got to give her all the time I can. I don't know how long she's going to be around. My peach. I think I will do. Trying to think of the name of Daniel Suarez's Demon. Distribute it and execute monitor. That's all about. Can't really give the story away, but it's a good story. It has to do with people and computers and games. So, yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, it's funny. I had just seen that cartoon pop up somewhere else, and then I saw it in there. It's like, yeah, it's a cool cartoon. Actually, a journalist put it up, and I had caught it. He copied it over. So she's a beauty. I just hope she lives a little longer happy. I want her to be happy and alive. I don't want her suffering. So she does not appear to be suffering much. I hope she eats today. You gonna eat for me, Peaches? You gonna eat some food? You wanna eat something? You wanna eat something? Oh, we got a display. We got a display from the beach. Oh, good girl, Peaches. Good girl. Oh, there's my baby. There's my baby. There's my girl. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Bosnia and Aaron and Amy Lulu and Susie Q, Aaron, and everyone else. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but right now I'm having trouble remembering my own name, so. Michelle says, just rest, Peach baby. And she loves you loads. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, Pippa. That's right. That's right. Right, Pippa? That's right, Pippa. So we'll see you next time, guys. I hope Peaches will be there with us too. You never know. She's been eating. She was eating yesterday. So Susie Q says, love you, Peaches. Say bye, Peach. She never says goodbye. She says hello. She says hello. She doesn't believe in goodbye. Eat something for Auntie.